Well guys, my name is Asad Yaqub and welcome to IELTS reading. Basically, it's already very clear that reading is the tough module and students always get low band score in reading. Remember one thing, in IELTS, you will see whenever you see the test result, I usually see the test result of my students. So what happens in listening, they got very good band score. At times in speaking, they got very good band score. In reading, they got the lowest band scores, and they usually get the lowest band scores. What's the reason? The reason is actually IELTS reading is tricky. I'm using the word tricky. If you have to read only the passage, you will understand that up to 80%, even up to 90%. If just your job is to read the passage, you will understand. But the time when you start reading the questions, the examiners are so clever, they make the questions in a way to twist your mind. I mean, passage will never confuse you, believe me. When you read the passage, it will look good, it will look all right. The time, or by the time when you come to read the questions actually twist your mind. And I would rather use the word, the questions, they actually entangle you, and once you are entangled into the questions, then you don't know what to do. I mean, it's just like that, you are coming smoothly, passage is okay, but when you read the questions are so confusing. When you start to understand the questions, your mind boggles. In English, we use the word the mind boggling. So the questions are mind boggling. When your mind boggles, then it becomes difficult for you to find the answers from the passage. But passage has no trick. Passage is simple because they select the passage from any magazine, any article, any research paper. So passage is fine. The actual game is the questions, right? So my focus or my advice for you all is, please try to read and understand the questions. Passage is all right. I can understand in the passage there are difficult words. I know in the passage there are certain words. Even one of my friends, he's an IELTS trainer, and he says there are certain words in IELTS reading passages that even the native speakers don't know those words. They're quite difficult words, right? But most of the time, in 90% cases, your answer is not related to those difficult words. Although you need to understand, but you can just see what's the meaning of this or what can be the meaning of this. You can do that. But remember one thing, if you're going to be stuck with the difficult words, you will never be able to understand the easy words. And the thing is, you don't need to understand the whole passage 100%. Even if you understand 70%, 80%, that is fine. And remember one thing, the passage has around like 700 to 900 words. There are 3 passages, each passage has 700 to 900 words, right? If you read one passage, you have to answer 13 questions. Now 700 words and how many questions? Only 13 questions. So it means all the passage will not be tested. They will not test 100% of the passage. Now the first thing is you need to develop the first skill, that is how to read the questions, how to understand the questions, and when you understand the questions, the state of mind you are in, that is very important. Now for example, you are reading the question and you are getting confused. What's the question? Okay, what is he asking? The time you are going to be confused, that state of mind will not help you to read and understand the passage. Right? So you need to read the questions easily and calmly, and all right, I'm reading the questions, I'll understand the questions, and then you can go towards the passage. So this is the first thing which is quite important. Is this clear? Yes, sir. Reading the questions. And okay, for instance, if we are playing a game, it's just catch me if you can. It's a game, catch me if you can. You are running and somebody is catching you. So IELTS reading, when you read the questions, keep in mind the examiner will try to trap you through the questions. The examiner will try to confuse you through the questions. The examiner will try to boggle your mind. The examiner will try to make you as much confused as possible through the questions, but you are running very fast and you're not going to be stuck anywhere. Right? That's what you are going to do. And once you've got this state of mind, then it's going to be easier. Now for instance, if I say we are playing a game and all of you are running, right? And you don't have to let anybody touch you, then you will be extra careful. right? If I say, if anybody touches you, then you are out of the game. Then you will not allow anybody to touch you. So same is the case in IELTS reading. The first thing is you need to read and understand the questions. Now, one thing. Second, whenever you are reading the passage. Now, a passage in IELTS has got parts which we call paragraphs. I mean, passage is basically a combination of paragraphs. If you are reading a passage, for instance, it's got 6 paragraphs, 8 paragraphs maximum, not more than that. So a passage consists of paragraphs, and paragraphs consist of sentences, and sentences consist of words. See, passage, paragraph, sentence, words, right? So basically, when you find the answer, it's just like that you are fishing. You are fishing in an ocean, right? And this is the ocean of IELTS passage, and your fish is actually the words. So there is an ocean of a passage, and you are going to fish the answer from there, and that is actually the word. So the thing is this, the first target after reading the question, your first target should be to see in which paragraph this answer can be. And I tell you how you can see that. I'm going to tell you in a minute, right? The first target, because you know passage is long enough. Now if you're going to go through all the passage to find one answer, that will take a long time. So you should know, I'm going to tell you how you can do that. The first thing is you need to reach that very paragraph where you think the answer is going to be. And you have to be very, very quick and smart. In few seconds, you need to decide whether the answer is there or not. It's not that you are in the wrong paragraph looking for the answer and actually the answer is not there. So you have to be smart enough to change the paragraph quickly that you're looking for the answer and the answer is not there. Now you can quickly go to another paragraph and all that. Now let's see. When we talk about passage has got certain paragraphs, right? And all the writers, before you understand reading or before you understand IELTS reading, it is very important for you to understand writing, because what you are going to read, that is written by somebody. So if you understand the mechanism of writing, if you understand the writing style, if you understand the mechanics of writing, the writers, there are certain rules, there are certain principles, the writers follow those principles, right? So if you understand those principles which are followed by the writer by the time they are writing the passages, it will actually help you with the reading and understanding. Very important point. If you understand, now for example, if I come through a passage or if I go through a passage written by the writer and I know how do the writers write the articles, and for this I would advise you, not for a long time, just for half an hour or 1 hour, you can go to Google and write there how to write articles. How to write articles. Then they will tell you the articles are written like this. In the first paragraph of the article you need to write this, in the second paragraph you can write this, and it will make up your mind that this is how the articles are written. And when you read that, then you will automatically get to know in which corner of the article what sort of information can be. Now for example, if the question is about the conclusion or about the outcome, now that will be at the end, right? If the question is about the introduction of something, that is likely to be in the beginning, right? If they're comparing something and all that. So if you understand the mechanism of writing the article, writing that passage, you can easily read, and you need to be clever enough. Another game, hide and seek. Do you know that game, hide and seek? Yeah, you got to hide. Now your job is to hide and somebody's job is to seek, right? And the writer of IELTS examination, or the paper setter, IELTS examiner, is actually hiding and you are seeking. Your job is to seek, examiner's job is to hide the answers from you. So there are 40 answers which are hidden in the passage, and your job is to seek those answers from there. So examiner is when you played that game in your childhood, when it was your turn to hide, you were very clever. You said, I will hide at a place where nobody can find me. And when it was your turn to seek, you checked every corner, you checked here and there, you checked behind the curtains, behind the door, here, there, everywhere to find. So the same mechanism you've got to use to do IELTS reading.